This is a quick myofascial release recovery video for the shoulder. A couple pieces of equipment that you need. 2 myofascial release balls. If you don't have those, you could use tennis balls or lacrosse balls, and then 1 yoga block. Could probably substitute that with a rolled up pillow or a blanket, but a block would be amazing. All right, so we're gonna start with that block down at the end of your mat. You just need 1 ball to start. We're gonna start right behind the shoulder. So we're gonna start in where lat and rotator cuff come in. Once we're laying on our side, the ball is gonna be right in that spot where the arm and the torso connect. Really kind of feels like it's right behind your armpit. So lay down on your right side, let the head rest on your block, and then lift up and place that ball right where that arm and torso connect. So I kind of like to do a little shoulder circle to try to find my spot. We really probably all have a hot spot there somewhere. So again, if you're not feeling much, maybe go down or back a little bit. And then once you get there, likely you found something. Then you can just stay and hold. That might be enough. Your head on something and your body and your other arm can take weight out of the ball, or you can just really let yourself sink and melt into it, either way. Once you're there, stay and hold, or you could flip the palm up and down. That's going to give a little friction to it. You could bend the elbow and let the arm fall back and forward. And then again, just like I did at the beginning, you could do a little bit of a shoulder circle. That might give a little bit greater area, some pressure. So try to relax with the face, the jawline. You can even close your eyes and just relax into it. Always okay to hold, always okay to move, a combo of both. Love these videos, doing myofascial release on the videos, because you can pause anytime you need to if you want to stay longer as I start to move on. So let's take a few more breaths in this spot. Maybe you move the ball a little bit further back or up or down. See if you can find another spot for these last couple breaths. Again, adding movement if you like it, or just stillness if that feels good. Sometimes it's so spicy you don't want to move, you just need to stay and breathe. That's perfect too. So again, stay as long as you'd like. I'm going to move on to the deltoid. So we're not going to really move much. Stay right here, side lying, head is propped, and I'm just going to move the ball out from underneath my shoulder to the outside of my shoulder. So I'm going to end up trying to lay it right there on that deltoid. So right where the meat of the muscle is right there. So maybe a little lift up, place it down, and then I kind of like my palm up so I can really get that deltoid on it. For this, I feel like I don't need much more than just to lay my weight on. You might even rock your body forward just a little bit to get more weight if you want it. And again, you can stay. You could also do that shoulder rotation a little bit. That could change that pressure a little bit, or flip the palm up and down, or just stay, hold. So find that breath. Maybe you find one more little spot so you could walk the arm out or back in, or just draw those little circles to find a new spot. Stay and hold it. So triceps coming up next. Again, if you've got a lot of tenderness here and you want to stay as long as you'd like. Let's take another breath or 2 here. And then I'm going to completely take everything out from underneath me. So again, pause if you want to stay. Otherwise, take the ball out, take the block out, set it to the side for a second. And then I'm going to prop my head up on my hand. So I've got come out here, and then I'm going to take the ball and place it underneath my tricep. I'm going to go a little bit lower, or right in the middle of that tricep. And then I'm going to go ahead and bring my head back down, because that's going to add more pressure down on the tricep. So again, this might be enough. You could slide your elbow out in a way that's adding more pressure. Just breathe in here. Another option that would be more would be to straighten the elbow and allow your head to rest there. That's going to add a little bit more pressure. So take what you need. Again, you could kind of rock back and forth. That's going to give you a little bit of friction there. But eyes could close, just stay still. So we're getting a lot. We got lat and rotator cuffs, deltoid, we're getting triceps, we're going to get upward trap last after we get this other side. So maybe make a change. You could come down a little closer to the elbow, or up a little bit higher towards the shoulder, either way. Find a little rock, find some stillness, find your breath. So left side's coming up. Again, if you need more time, don't hesitate to stay, pause, take what you need. Then when you're ready, do a little push up. We're gonna switch sides. I'm gonna switch to the other side of my mat so you can see me, bring the block down. Do a little pause here in between. Feel the difference between the arms. I almost feel like my right arm is sitting a little bit lower. Everything here is a little more tense. So hopefully you're feeling relaxed, a little release of tension. So back to that lat spot. So we're right in between, or right with that space where the arm meets the torso. So come down, make sure I don't mess up my mic here. So come down, lay on that left side. Lift up, place that ball right behind the armpit, and then do a little shoulder circle or arm circle, either way, to try and find your spot. So head's relaxed, right arm can be here to take some weight off if that feels really super tender. We don't want it to be making us hold our breath or for it to be sharp. You just want to feel like you're finding spots of tension that you can release. So again, stillness is amazing. Or you can do a little flip of that palm back and forth, shoulder circles, or bend the elbow, let the hand fall back and forward. Take what you need. You could probably spend several minutes here just finding new little spots every 30 seconds or so, but let's just at least find 2. So if you want to move that ball maybe a little bit up or a little bit back. I'm always surprised. I always think my right side's gonna just be way worse than my left because I'm right side dominant, but this left is plenty tender. So again, try to breathe into it, catch yourself if you're holding your breath, and try to find it again, smooth it out. Find movement or relax into that ball, either way. We're gonna move from this lat rotator cuff area into the delt. We don't need to move our bodies hardly at all. We'll just lift up to change the ball. So again, pause if you wanna stay there a little bit longer. Otherwise, move the ball so it feels like it's right on the outside of that shoulder. So right in the meat of that muscle right here. And then again, you could find those little shoulder circles. You could kind of lean into the right palm and try to get a little bit more weight into that delt. You could do a little flip of the hand or bend of the elbow back and forth, or just that stillness, either way. Big breath. Take a couple more breaths here. We're gonna move on to the tricep. Again, no need to move on if you don't want to. Stay, pause the video, and then move on when you're ready. But if you'd like, push off that right hand so you can take out everything from underneath you, blocks to the side, and then grab that ball, and then come down on side lying, and then prop your head up. And then place the ball underneath the tricep, so back of the arm, and then maybe you come back to that position. You could always lay all the way flat, straighten the arm, lay the ear to the bicep. That's gonna add more pressure. You could add a little forward and back to add that friction, or just stay. Big breath. So releasing tension from the back of the arm. We'll find one more spot here. So another breath right where you are. And then this muscle runs between the 2 joints, so elbow and shoulder. So you could either come up a little bit higher or a little bit lower. I'm just gonna kind of drag my body down so the ball gets a little bit lower, closer to my elbow. I feel like that's where my tenderness is, but you could play with it. See if it's higher or lower, and then just breathe. Feel that release, pressure, trying to add a little bit of circulation here, trying to get any adhesions worked out. So another breath or 2 here. If you're wanting to stay, pause the video. We've got one last really good spot to get. So take your time, stay if you'd like, or push up and off. Grab every bit of your equipment. So we need both balls. We need your block, and then we're gonna come onto our backs. So block is close, you may or may not want it. We're gonna end up placing the balls for the upper trap right here, right at the top of the shoulder. They can be pretty close to each other where they're just not on top of the spine. I like to lay down first and then kind of wiggle one on each side. And then once you get them there, we hold a lot of tension in the upper trap, so there's a chance you'll get there and think you want to do nothing else. This is enough pressure, then just stay. But if it works, maybe you grab that block, lift the hips up. You can place the sacrum right up on top of it. So now we've got an angle down on the balls, relax the face, the jawline. If you want a little more or to see what it might feel like, you could drape your arms up overhead. They should feel noodle-like, so you don't want tension in the arms. Let them go. We just worked all that out, so we want to keep it. And then I kind of like to step into my feet and do a little rock. So the balls kind of come up and down, really pushing into that upward trap. So add movement or stay. Allow that pressure to sink into those muscles. We shrug a lot when we're stressed, when we're hunched over a computer or a smart device of some sort. So we want to really let that tension go. This is going to really help us with to have good posture, release any tension in the shoulders, hopefully relieve pain, add mobility. So again, this is a great one. Pause, stay as long as you'd like. You almost can kind of treat it like a shavasana here, last little resting pose. So another breath or two, maybe a little bit of movement or just a tiny drag of those balls down a little lower. Again, stay, pause, or if you're ready, lift up. Take every little piece of equipment out from underneath you. Take just a breath here to let everything kind of sink in, so allow yourself to settle down into the mat. Take a big reach the arms up overhead, get a full body stretch. And then hug the knees in, rock yourself up. Congratulate yourself for a great job with myofascial release for the shoulder. Maybe take a big shoulder roll up, back, and around. Hopefully you're feeling really loose, a good release. Have a great rest of the day.